Hey, we are here with Tears of Skovrane. It has been a hot minute since I've said that, and we've lost to Jared,
Mhm.
but here we are. We were just, we were too excited to play some Chrome Quizzers, and that is fine. That is fine. Cool. So
Yeah.
we're back, and David's the game master, so I'm gonna pass it off to him.
Yeah. All right. So last time we were here, we had Arlo. He didn't come along in the chase this time. Instead, we're sort of retconning a little bit in order to introduce Josh into the game here. So
Well, so last
instead
time
of the rand,
I like called out to Arlo to
yeah,
like come, but maybe in this version, maybe
that's
since
right.
we're retconning things, maybe I decide I need to prove myself without Arlo. I just like have an impulse, or usually I don't do this, but like I have like maybe a mold
Right.
breaker moment in Burning Will terms, and just decide, you know what,
Yeah.
I need to prove myself, and so I just turn to the Hellbreaker scout next to me, and I'm like, let's go, let's go track him down.
Sounds good. And we're retconning the Hellbreaker Scout was a random woman. Now it's uh Josh's character Mordecai, um, who is
Mhm.
wiry, gruffer, and more Australian than the woman was, and also a man. And they are pursuing the sort of strange shape they saw staring back at them through the night, while Zion's group is sleeping. So we'll see how this goes.
Hmm.
Also, I'll note that combat balance in this game is a thing I've had very, very few attempts or abilities to test so far in the new version. So if you immediately die, we can start over and I'll tweak it because I don't know what's overpowered yet. I haven't
We
had
can
enough
only
time to
hope
use it.
that this
So
means combat will be balanced or be underbalanced and in our favor as
yeah,
opposed to
it might be too easy. I mean, to be fair, in the past that's always been the case, and in Fate it's the case. And so we'll see. We'll see. Um, and I erred on the side of it being too strong because of my continual experience of everything dying instantly. So we'll see how it goes. Um, so you guys take off into the night, flying around. I so did we? Sorry, I'm a bad GM. The sliver that you were talking about, Josh, is that what we named the thing you guys used to jump around,
Yep.
right? Okay, is you said that, and I'm like sliver, like the magic sliver, and then I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that was what we called the.
Yeah, he just has a couple of pet
um,
slivers. It's fine.
yeah, I was like, well, okay, no, yeah, so we see you guys, yeah, just sort of dash, you Naruto run over the branches, but in your with your maneuver gear,
Didn't I tell you,
and
David, that I decided to put the Hellbreaker universe in the Magic the Gathering multiverse? I just
yeah, oh
got too
great.
addicted.
Yeah, of course. Great. I can't wait for that to be awful. um,
Suddenly everyone
I
turns
guess a dragon shows
gay.
up. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. 3 minutes into the stream. Here we go.
Sorry, I'm derailing things.
No, you're fine. So now we get a little bit more focus on this Hellbreaker next to you since they matter now. So what does Mordecai look like, Josh? I kind of already stole your description. Sorry. What do we see going on in the treetops with Zion?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it is the same as his regular scouts, except for there is like he's wearing like a trench coat that's woven from like plant fibers.
Nice.
Over the top of it, just to be different.
Yeah, we get that this is a native. I don't
Mhm.
remember if you are a native or not, but maybe you're just more familiar with the area than everybody else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like you can see there's a little bit of salt and pepper to his hair, but it's unclear as to whether that's due to age or just some other particular reason, or
The
whether he's
stress
just
of
been
living on
having
this
a
planet
too
at
tough a time.
all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is not a nice place to live. Sure.
Yeah, it's hard to tell his age. It's like, is he old or is he just young and kind of grizzled.
Nice. Excellent. Do you remember what this mission briefing temporary thing is? I feel like it probably isn't relevant anymore, but I don't remember and I don't want to delete it without knowing.
No, that is still relevant. That's what I did to give us an advantage. Like I reviewed all of our notes on the Malavim that we're chasing, and like the weaknesses that we do know, and all of that stuff. So that's me. That's like my preparation for this mission.
Okay. Do you remember how you got a temp 2d6? Because that's a weird. I'm not sure how this happened mechanically.
Temp 2d6 on that.
Yeah, I don't know why it'd be temporary in 2d6. The way I have it set up, that's not a thing that can happen. So I'm trying to remember how that occurred.
When it did happen, then there was a choice between you could have it longer.
Oh, like that's right. I did change it.
Or temp 2d6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I think I changed the outcome of that a little bit, or the way I did that a little bit. So now I think the way it works is well, that must have been a standard success you got, right? Because I think that was how it worked. And so a standard success now is just you just get a more permanent 1d6 one. Just because I think it was a little unnecessarily clunky before. And then hidden, I assume that I think he saw you, right? I don't remember if hidden was still a thing.
Yeah, hidden was something that
Arlo did.
Yeah, Arlo did.
Okay. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Okay, so we'll all right. Yeah, so you see this sort of large, I would say lumbering, but it only appears to lumber until it moves, and then it's pretty fast. Shape dart off into the night, and you pursue. I guess let's feel free to have a character discussion here if you want, but let's do a non-combat conflict here. Just see how this goes now that I've done the conflict rules, and we can do that. All right. It's just occurred to me that I don't know that I have a way of representing clocks in Roll20. My life. Oh, I guess I could drag clocks on here and wait for them to upload every time.
You can, if you go to the top right and you go to the one that looks like dot points, you can create a rollable table. Create one of those, put in the whatever segments of clock, the various ones as different entries, and then you can make it do a token of that, and then you can put that on the tabletop, and whenever you need to change it, you can right click it, choose side, and change it to whichever one you need it to be at the time.
Okay. Not totally sure I know how to do that.
I think I'm a GM. I think I'm a GM in the game too. Let me.
Okay.
Let me.
So I'm on it. I don't new item. I guess was let's see. Progress. That did it work? I don't know. How would I put it on the, do I move it onto the table?
You can click when you're looking at the rollable tables in the journal, you can just click token. It should make one.
Oh, I see.
I don't see it.
It didn't
up anywhere.
I didn't give it an image. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, you need to give it an image for it to function. So you could give it each entry the segment of the clock. Picture.
Yeah, at the very least, we should. Whether or not we do that now, that's what we should do.
Yeah, I will probably do that another time, so we don't delay things here. So instead, here's what we're gonna do. Circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're gonna do things the redneck way with duct tape and spit. All right.
Perfect.
Here we go. There's a clock.
Fun.
So this is, I think in the rules I have it working a little differently, but it doesn't make any sense to do it that way. So this is a tug of war clock. So basically, as you fill segments, you'll get. So I could do this. We get little like bonuses from momentum. And I picked a bad color for this. I can't. I mean, I didn't pick it, but it gave me a bad color for this background. But and anytime you do damage to this clock, it will decrease any segments he's written or filled and increase your own segments. And you want to just fill the fourth segment, basically. And same for him. If he succeeds, it'll decrease. So you're just kind of going back and forth. Hopefully this won't be a never-ending thing. That's why I have the bonuses here. We'll see how it goes. So the initiating character in a conflict goes first. And if it's not clear who that is, the players go first. And I'm not totally sure if the person running away or the person chasing initiates a chase, really. So we're just going to say you go first.
Yeah, I was going to say probably the chaser. Like,
yeah.
Because
if the
someone
chaser
running
doesn't
away
chase,
doesn't
they don't
start it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there isn't a chase unless someone chases. It's true. All right. But then also, like, the person running away would get a head start. So, like, maybe, I don't know. Doesn't matter. You guys can go first. So why don't we have technically anybody can go first in the first initiative slot. It doesn't have to be the same person every time. So you can choose among you who go first. I assume. I guess you watched the whole episode, so you probably know about as much as Kid does on how that works. Let me see. I actually realized. I did do handouts of the moves. This is probably slightly outdated. Let me delete that and make a new one. But go ahead and who would like to go first?
Doesn't matter to me. While we're swinging around,
you're the boss.
Yeah. While we're swinging around, I'm definitely like noticing, because I assume Mordecai is probably pretty proficient with his. You have an asset for it, so pretty proficient with your gauntlet here. Much more proficient than I am, I'm sure. So I'm like nodding in appreciation, noticing this. But yeah, it makes sense for me to go first because, again, I am the boss. Let's see here.
So he darts off into the trees into the direction towards which you suspected his lair was supposed to be or whatever.
Yep. Okay, so what are we thinking for how this is going down then? In terms of it's like a conflict.
Yeah. So in a conflict, you depending on how the conflict works, in this case, there's only one clock, or I guess there's usually one clock, but so the objective is basically like to catch the pursuer, right? That's the name of this clock. So so catch the guy, right? And then
you wanna catch the guy.
Yeah, he's gonna try and fill this up. You're gonna try and fill it up before him, right? Undo his progress and fill it up. If this was more like you're both trying to do something first, there would be like two different clocks attached to this, and you would try to fill yours first. But in this case, if you get closer to him, he gets closer to you, which undoes his progress. So that's why we're using a tug of war clock. So basically, you just use advance to attack this clock like you would any other, like you would attack a person. And he will use his, turns, his abilities to try and defend that clock and get away, keep you from progressing it. So basically, in a conflict, you're attacking the clock that resolves whatever you want to resolve. In this case, there's only one thing to resolve. And there can be other things, but we're keeping it simple for now. And you defend the clocks that you want not resolved, like you dying or him getting away. Or in this case, him filling this clock. Because his version is, get away. And that's what happens if he fills it. And you're just attacking this clock, trying to fill it before he is. So you use the advance move for that, like you would to attack a person. I don't think the advanced move has changed, but I'm currently remaking these now, so we can go ahead and use the one that's on there, but I'll replace it in a second. Or I deleted it. Okay, go on. But yeah, you can also, the main things would be to either create a tag and try and make an advantage for yourself, which you already did, or to advance and try and attack the thing. Which if we do want to do that, it'll be a second before we need the moves results anyways, so we can start on that while I'm making these. So what is, I guess, the sort of about my brain today. Order of operations here is for you to narrate first. We see what happens, and then that tells us what dice we're rolling. So
perfect.
So just let me know what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up all these documents again.
Yeah, sorry, this is kind of
no, you're good. All right. I think I'm probably gonna go with like describing it as him starting to sing, right? So this is Zion singing at first softly and then louder and louder, in not necessarily a chase song per se, but like and not even necessarily a hunt song, but just like a go faster, like do things stronger, better,
right.
athletic song, whatever the like push yourself to the limit. It's my gym playlist,
You get yourself pumped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's the idea.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna like be better at like go faster. So whether or not I'm not entirely sure what the.
Yep. So that would be create a tag, because you're trying to create some sort of advantage there. Excuse me. So yeah, go ahead and let's see.
Do I get the die of fate?
Yep. You're the active character, so I get die of fate.
I figure.
I was trying to.
All right.
I should have done this stuff before we started. I mean, I guess I woke up like 5 minutes before we started, but still. You guys had so many things I had to score up. So let me see. You got.
Yeah, remind me how to add up these dice.
Yeah, so let's see. You're using your songs. Do we decide? I mean, all your stats are 2. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. So you get 2 from your stats. You've got your Hellbreaker songs, and you're using them in their typical way. So you get the dice from that. They're all quality 1 starting assets. So you're at 3. And then this is probably a combat song, I imagine, just like a.
Yeah, it's the pump up the soldiers to do better in combat sort of song. Yeah, it's just enhanced physical prowess, I guess, the idea.
Yeah. So that's 2 from that asset total. So you're looking at 4. Then you have the die of fate, so that's 5.
Oh, okay.
And I mean,
can I get a tag for monster hunting? I guess that's my Hellbreaker Scouts asset, which technically
you've left behind. I mean, I guess I did say that she was coming with you just so you could have that tag, but I guess he's here now.
Yeah.
It's dead.
So I'm making a specific narrative move to like try to prove myself now. So
yeah. Yeah, I gotta figure out.
Do I get a dice for my Arcana knowledge, since this is technically magic that I'm doing right now?
I think the intention with Arcana was specifically that it wasn't the Hellbreaker songs. That's why it's like a separate thing. I think it was just like your.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, more for directing the energy into your other magic systems. Yeah, and then I think normally this would be standard, which I'm trying to remember what I've got it set at now because I've changed the difficulty bases a lot. But I'm gonna say it's a little harder because you're chasing the guy. This is an all-out sprint basically. But I mean, I guess that's kind of what the song's for. So maybe in this case it wouldn't be harder. It probably is naturally able to be done when you're breathing hard. So I guess I'm thinking that like 3 is going to be standard, like an easy difficulty. So
I got 2 successes, and was the die of fate the first one?
Yep. So that goes to you. And it got 2 successes. So that is a costly success, which is that you gain a boost instead of creating an actual attack. So you'll get a boost here. Basically, I think it's just hard to focus. Like every time you get into the rhythm of it, he takes a weird turn, and
I have to like reevaluate and figure out my sliver trajectories again. Yeah.
Yep. So you're having trouble keeping it up, but you did get enough out basically that you've sort of amped yourself a little here. You got your boost for whatever you do next.
Slight quickening of pace.
Yeah. Boost. Okay.
Go.
So what was it?
Unfortunately, the soundtrack for this in my head is definitely just "Kiss the Girl," except "Catch the Guy," and it's just
Catch the
playing
guy
on repeat in my head.
Catch the guy. All right. Nice. So now our guy's gonna try and get away. So the turns alternate. So it's his turn now. He is just going. So it's dark, nighttime. He's pretty fast. He's just gonna try and like we said, he was darting at some unexpected angles. We're gonna try and have him just disappear at a weird angle into the dark and try and like hide basically. So gotta find my guy here. It's not very cutie based right now, which is good. So we'll have a session to play. That's good. And then, yeah, he doesn't get a lot of dice to this at all, actually. There is, I guess I should have done this too. So there is a nighttime, or I guess it was called darkness tag on the scene because it's dark. There is a heavily wooded scene on the tag on the scene because it's heavily wooded. So anybody can use these up here. Maybe I can change the color of the text to be like yellow. Sure. So that means anybody can use them. I'll put the good ones in green, the bad ones, and maybe green was a bad choice. In blue. Actually, that's harder to see somehow. And then it'll be in red. And I guess I'll put them all above the clock here so we can keep it all in the same area. So you can choose who defends against this. He's trying to advance the clock, right? He's trying to go unseen. So one of you can choose to try and basically keep an eye on him or like keep sight of him while you're moving. Whichever you think would be better at it, basically. So which of you wants to try and
oppose him here?
Sorry?
This is someone who's like basically opposing what he's doing. Is that?
Yep. So basically, he's attacking the clock. You don't want it to be filled, so one of you can defend it.
Well, I have perception songs as a thing, so that might be. Maybe that's why I only get a boost here because he starts to get ahead of us, and I realize that he's going to do some tricks here, and I can't try to get a gain on him. I need to just make sure I know where he's going and don't lose him.
That's a good call. Sounds good. All right.
So I think it's probably the same roll then, except I'm just switching out combat songs for perception songs in the...
Probably, except that he has a die fate because he's acting.
Okay.
Not that matters, but...
4d6,
yeah. So I'll give you the difficulty here for... Oh, that's fine. Doesn't matter. That I didn't do the greater than 4 thing. Sorry. So he got only one success there.
Die fate, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, that was... Excuse me.
Don't die, David.
Yeah, trying. I haven't made the move things yet, but that was resist. And if you succeeded that, they don't get what they want. So he does not get what he wants. He does not advance the clock.
Very fine.
So, basically, we see him dart away at a weird angle into the tree. Sorry. Weird. Anyways. But yeah, we start. What does your perception songs sound and look like?
Yeah. Whereas I think this is the first time we've actually heard it because I think most the other songs I've done are like the battle songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think of most of these songs sound like either war chants or it's really like battle hymns is what they have been, right? It sounds like sacred music, but like in almost like a sea shanty, so very rhythmic and because then all the men can sing it together, sort of thing. All the soldiers are like perception song is probably more like a whisper, I think, because this can also be used to be a spy, right? So it's just like maybe it's just almost humming, right? Or sub vocalizing as I'm just
I also like the idea that it's
focusing.
like sending out deep sound waves that travel further, and that's how you're sensing stuff too.
Yeah, it's like really deep bass humming.
Yeah, I think that's
almost like I'm doing like a weird bat sonar sort of thing. Yeah.
Cool. So we hear that, and you're able to identify where he's going, and it's Mordecai's turn.
Cool.
So yeah, go ahead and just tell me what you want to do, not mechanically, like narratively. And I will just, because I deleted my handout. Actually, is there a way to recover that? Actually, delete it.
Yeah, just delete the link.
Maybe I still have the old handout. Quota exceeded. I've uploaded more than I can. That's cool. All right. Anyway, sorry. Oh yeah, no, I have it right here. Okay. Save changes. Show to players. Show to everyone. All right. I put the old handout on again. I think it might be slightly outdated, but that's okay. It's better than nothing. So where is it now? Mysterious note. There it is. So at the top there. I don't know why it isn't in like a handouts folder. It's kind of weird. Let me rename it. Okay. So yeah, what do we see from Mordecai as we hear the Zion's humming?
Yeah, I mean, Mordecai is like still swinging along, and then at some point he says, "Start in the dark, Tanner, and my arms are gonna get tired. Give me a second." And he's gonna like reach back and like bang his backpack a couple of times and try and get the matrix on order, and then he like pulls out like a random feather that looks like it's slightly long and got like red with like a little curl of yellow at the end, and he just stuffs it in there and like starts winding it.
Nice.
And then he'll like take it out and I think he like splashes it onto his trench coat.
Okay, awesome.
And he's just basically going to try and make himself fly instead of having to.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So it's created an advantage. So let's see. Let's look at your sheet here. Get it, wrong tab. There we go. All right. Let's see. I think this is probably willpower here. You're doing an intelligence related thing here. Once you're using it, it'll be more acuity because you're flying. But you got your rapid reaction matrix, so that gives you a dice. And I don't know if this is particularly incendiary or medical, but I think
I don't think so.
And you're doing your aspect transference and agility, so that's one for that. And then agility obviously is the
intended outcome. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I guess I don't know if the rapid reaction matrix does because it's the parent. I don't know. Probably not, because the main thing you're using here is the aspect transference. So that would give you dice. I don't know that the matrix necessarily would. It would if it had like its own tag that applied here. But I think the basic thing, since this is more the magic. So sorry,
Makes
you're
sense.
at 2. So that's 4. And then you have the die of fate. So you're at 5. That's all right. Yeah. Cool. And
so 4 dice.
Yeah. And what
and
was
then the 1 extra because of the die fate.
Right. Yep. And this is just going to be standard. This isn't for any other reason. Oop, that's not the right thing. Here. Oof. We got 2. I guess if 2 is a standard attribute, maybe 2 should be the base. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I think 3 fits for now, but if things are too difficult to succeed at, then I'll adjust it. That's what we're testing for, I guess.
Too difficult.
Nice, you got it. Oh, he rolled it separately. I'm like, why does it have 2? Look at you being all fancy. Yeah, so you get 3 successes. There you go. And that means you create a there is a new asset for you, or a new tag for you. Yeah, the magic carpet ride. So
Going full Disney here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess
we're saying the what's it called, as it splashed on the trench coat kind of splits in 2 and starts flapping along.
Nice. I like. That's awesome. Okay.
He's awakened his coat.
Yeah. It's like if Doctor Strange's cape was useful and not just a jerk. Actually, I guess it is useful sometimes.
It's useful sometimes, yeah.
Great. All right. It's back to the top of the round. So you can technically go again because it's a new round and anybody can go in an initiative slot, but it's up to you guys. So one of you may go.
Do you have a particular thing that you wanted to do here, Josh? What's Mordecai's plan ultimately here that he's thinking?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Do you want to catch him before he gets where he's going, or do you want to catch him when he gets where he's like wait to see where follow him?
I don't know. That's a good question because I don't know if like it's going to be any better.
I mean, it's possible he's not going anywhere to stay. He might just be running, right? Yeah. In which case,
our ultimate goal is to like capture, right? To tie this thing down somehow. And so yeah, we probably don't want him to get back to where he's going because there might be like an infestation of spores or something like that wherever his lair is. We're not sure entirely. Yeah. So I'd say catch him quickly. So I was just gonna like make a move, just like try to catch up to him and be able to grab onto him or something. Do something concrete to like get the clock moving up, an attack as you will. But if you have something that would maybe set that up, or if you have your own idea, Josh, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, Mordecai would just be using his new flight ability to catch up. So
you probably have more in the way of like actual like things to trap him. I mean, your magnetic sliver thing at the very least could probably pin him down. So I'll let you go first here if you want to just try to catch up to him.
Sounds good.
Unless you want me to set up something for you.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I set up my
magic
carpet ride. So
cool. All right. So you're just going to try and we see you lift into the air and you're going to try and zoom down and get him.
Very much.
Sounds good. And yeah, obviously the basic progression of a chase is usually we run after him faster. So I understand that it's hard to come up with a new way to narrate it every time. So
yeah,
but yeah. So if that's what you're intending to do, no worries. You just be like, I try and catch him. So yeah, all right. We've got. Keep having to move back and forth between. I don't know why I put these different places. You got 3 for your cutie. You're dodging in between trees here. Are you still using your glove? Sorry, I know you're flying, but do we still see you using the glove? I think you'd probably be better off dice wise if you also are like using it to pull you out of the way of limbs like that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
Combination. Cool. All right.
Yeah, it's just he's like starting to more rely on the flight than he is he's using the glove to clear things out rather than pull himself along.
Perfect. Alrighty. So that's actually, yeah, it has a sweeping property. It'd be cool if maybe like as you're flying, it's just tearing all the limbs out of the trees out of your way. That'd be cool. You're chopping through the brush. So we've got 5 there. Right. So 6 total because you got the die fate as the actor.
So die of fate and 5 more.
So I'll roll for him first here to give you your difficulty. So he only has 2, but it's dark and heavily wooded. So those benefit him at the moment. So you got 3 successes here to try and prevent you from gaining ground. Go ahead and make your roll. That's a pretty good roll. You only had 4 dice. Oh no!
Wow.
And unfortunately, the die of fate also gives him a success because it's a 3. So you get 1 success, but he gets 4, which means he gets 3 over you. So when you make the resist move and you get a great success, I haven't been doing advantage and stuff here, but that's sorry because I'm still a little new to the process myself, and I could actually use it too often. Everything's just been pretty standard advantage wise at the moment. I'll explain what that means in a second. So he can choose on the great success options to either mark 1 segment of a relevant progress clock, create a temporary 1d6 tag, or trigger a drawback from an asset your opponent used in this roll. Let's look at your drawbacks. You just use this. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nope. Okay, so that doesn't really do anything. But he can. I think he's just going to create a tag temporary. I don't really know that there's any reasonable way that he gets further away from you as you fly at him fast. So I just think we're going to give him a red. So yeah, what we see from him is he's just dashing through, trying to take unpredictable turns, and then you fly around. You blow through a bunch of branches. You fly around the corner of a huge, thick, like really intensely molded over tree. And there's just like this green cloud in front of you, and you stop and you dodge the side fast enough that no one gets hurt. But you have to sort of fly around this, all of a sudden, this huge cloud of gas. You guys do have like rebreathers, but this is thick and intense enough that you wouldn't want to test the filters on this against these fumes.
Joke's on you, David, because I would.
Yeah. Well, you can try. So
like he's surrounded by it right now. Is that what you're
he just kind of like left it in his wake so that it would
just slow you down, like navigate around it.
He dropped a banana peel and just left it, or an oil slick. Playing wacky wheels.
A gaseous banana peel. Yeah.
And actually, now that I described that does actually make more sense as filling a bar than it does because it slows you down. So I'm actually going to just delete that and do a thing. So where's my paintbrush? Where is it? There it is. Oh no! Change the color.
Right. I changed it to like, it was a little hard to read on the green, so I just changed the color to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fine. All right. That also means he gets +1 momentum because he has one of these segments filled. Once you unfill it, he'll lose that. So it is now his turn. He, I think, is just going to try and push that advantage and try and use the visual and gaseous obstruction to try and just get away. It doesn't actually benefit me because he can create the tag. But so here we go again. Unfortunately, he's not very good at this, but I guess it is dark. So you're still trying to keep an eye on him, Zion, I assume? This is probably still you. All right. Oof. He did awful. Nice. Oh, wait. Sorry, there should have been 2 more because so this one is the die of fate. or I guess I'll do the die fate last. This one is his advantage that he didn't roll. That's a success. And then this is the die fate that he didn't roll. And that's a success for you.
So 3 successes
you get 3
altogether.
Yeah, so not quite over, not 3 over, but you did get him. So yeah, he does not get away. All right. So now I think it's Mordecai, and now I'm gonna pretend that I did this to keep it simple and to introduce things slowly, and not that I forgot to do it. There is a system for basically inflicting damage, right? The standard attack does 2 pips of a clock. If you're in a situation, just generally as a narrative overview, that is beneficial to you, like significantly so, you get advantage, which means in this case, if you're attacking a clock, you do 3 damage, or you build a better tag, whatever. And if you are in a particularly rough situation, you get disadvantage. And this is just for the acting character, because the reacting character's affecting this already just by being there and doing whatever they're doing. Then you might do only 1 damage, or you might just get a temporary tag, right? So it kind of decides on how effective your success is. It doesn't change the chances of success, but it does change how effective success is. So we haven't done that yet, but I think since you're flying, Mordecai, I probably should have given you an advantage there. I don't think you succeeded, so it didn't end up mattering mechanically, but yeah. I mean, you're in a much better position to catch him now than you were. Like, you have a lot of control in the situation. He can't fly. So when you try to fly towards him, if you succeed, instead of marking 2 segments, you'll mark 3, right? So yeah, that's a thing I forgot to mention. So everything I think has been standard until now, except probably that should have been better. So yeah, this roll, assuming you're doing the same thing, will have advantage.
Zion will have to do it because I went first this time.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry. I was confusing myself. Zion, you're up. You have a boost still, by the way, which I don't think you've used yet. So
yeah, Keld. He's doing cool things, I'm sure. All of them dope.
Yes. What was being said to me?
I thought it was Mordecai's turn, but I was confusing myself. It's your turn.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering about that myself, but you said it, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm not doing anything.
You have a boost as well that you haven't used it, so you can.
Yes. Very true. And so the way this works, remind me, is that he has that's his red there, but then so we have to erase that and then start filling in our own. Okay.
Yep. But a standard attack, if it hits, does 2 segments. He just got like a extra thing for rolling
success
really
with
well.
Style sort of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I think I'm going to attempt to do something clever. I'm not entirely sure what it would be, but something along the lines of my character would be able to think of this more than I would, right?
Sure.
Something along the lines of using my mission briefing and the boost I got to, instead of so much just focusing on raw, like, can I outpace him?
Yeah.
Just being like, what do I know about this thing? What are its weaknesses and vulnerabilities? What could I do to trap it, to like maybe have Mordecai chase after it and I circle in a different direction and wait. Maybe I've here's what I think it is. Maybe I've just started noticing a pattern in the erratic movements it's making, and can predict the next turn it's going to make, and then intercept, like go on a course to intercept him when he does so.
So I think it's
attempt anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess that'll be. So you want to create an advantage there, and well, you already have.
I think it's just an attempt to fill the clock, right?
Okay. Because you have mission briefing. So here's the thing. The mission briefing, you have a general idea where it lives. You know that that's the direction it's going. It's been taking evasive turns, but it's been trending this direction, right? It's trying to get back to wherever it lives. You know that. So even if you lose sight of it, you could probably go that direction, or in this case, intentionally lose sight of it and try and hit it off, right? So that would be your mission briefing bonus, and then you can.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense.
Boost, because I do have some juice powering me up from the songs. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll delete the boost. So we got 2 dice already, and then we're
2 dice, 3 dice for the die of fate. And then
you're
I'm
using
thinking
probably acuity. I mean, it doesn't matter. You got 2 for your stats.
Yeah, acuity, just being in general clever about the thing.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's.
And you're still using your. So this is the thing I have to figure out. Often the assets you use to create a tag give you more dice than the tag does. And so, I think that I didn't do it for the crafting one because that's sort of a different thing. But you're still singing your perception song, and or combat song, whatever you want to sing. Probably the perception song based on what we were saying.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it makes sense to be like, oh, you use that to create an advantage. Now you get less dice because you're using your tag instead of your asset, right? Necessarily. In some cases, it does make sense, like with enchanting things, where the enchanting wouldn't help you use the thing.
I'm confused. Can you explain the difference?
So basically, like you used your or no, I guess you didn't. Never mind. I was thinking if you'd used your perception song to like create an advantage and then used it, you would get less dice than if you were using your perception song from the asset. So my thought is, and this isn't relevant, I thought you had a song asset to use, but you don't. You're using your plan asset. But so I apologize. I took us on tangent for no reason. But basically, I was just saying that if you use a thing like that to create an asset, you also still get your asset dice so that you're not, or to use a tag to create a tag. So you're not like doing work and then getting less dice for it.
Yeah, you're basically making it more effective the next time you use it, as opposed to just replacing the dice. Yeah.
And then I was also just saying that, like, Mordecai had created a tag with his enchanting, and the reason I wouldn't apply it to that is because it's not like something he's actively doing. It's just he created that and now he's using that. But anyways,
okay, so I'm doing Hellbreaker songs then with perception songs, so it's at 4 dice.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait,
so this. So you were at 5, and so you'll have 7 total with the songs.
Yes, because can I spend a bond point to also get? Is this how this works? Can I spend a bond
points for rerolls?
Yeah, like columns.
Okay.
What you can do is push yourself. You describe how you're doing that, and you mark a stress on yourself.
Okay.
And you get 2 more dice. But
so I was gonna say I want to pile everything I can into this one. I think.
But that is basically like taking damage. It doesn't give you. It's not hindrances. It's not going to like. This goes away pretty easily, but. Imagine like intentionally damaging your shield in Halo or something, right? Like this will make you easier to kill, but although if you use something like willpower and like strain your magic, it's not likely that he's going to attack your brain, hopefully. So you could try and flavor it in a way that won't impede your physical combat.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense that I'm pushing myself physically here.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the plan is mental, but the actual implementation of it is physical.
Right.
What can I do with the darkness or heavily wooded? Are those like neutral, just like traits?
Anybody can use them. In this case, because you were trying to chase somebody else, darkness is pretty much universally bad, I would say, for you. Even though you could use it.
This would be the Malavim not seeing what I'm trying to do here because I'm like cutting. I'm trying to intercept him and cut him off.
Yeah. Then if you are trying to be like.
Because the idea would be it doesn't. Those don't matter for me in this sequence now because I know exactly where I'm going and where he's going to be if I succeed.
So then, if you're trying to stay hidden from him in this case, then they would benefit you. Yeah,
that's the idea. So do I just like get both of them or?
Yeah, that's fine with me. They're both pretty similar in their function. So
sweet. So 96, I guess, is what I'm rolling.
Sounds like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey, that's pretty good dice.
Yeah.
And I got a 6.
So now this, I guess, is his attempt to notice that you're doing that, right? So he's trying to keep track of you, obviously, the whole time that he's doing this. So let's see. This will be a slightly different roll for him. Well, I mean, really not that much different. I guess he probably should have been rolling fortitude for like straight running, because he's not really as worried about. He's not weaving around in the trees, but whatever. I'll change that later. So 2, or I'll fix that later. I mean, I don't think either of those benefit him. Yeah, he's not the most acuity guy. I think you're gonna get him here. So, and you got a 6 on the die fate too. So he's just gonna do these.
Does it automatically do something, or
he gets through. Yes, I think actually we
it's a
resolve
positive twist.
Yeah, we should resolve that before we resolve the other stuff. I can say success. All right. So the Die of Fate. Where are you, Die of Fate?
Beast.
Yes. So you can do a few things. Twist is one of them. I think I changed. So I have a new little list of things you can do. Basically,
I see. Trigger drawback, improve or reduce a level of advantage, mark 1 stress, suggest a narrative twist.
So improving or reducing the level of advantage in an advanced roll just means it does more damage.
Let's do that one.
I assume is what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do as much damage as possible in this roll.
Yeah. And also, you got more than 3 over him. So you also get one of the...
Oh, wait. Man, he rolled 0.
Yeah, he got nothing. So, geez, my brain is melting. What am I looking for right now?
That was me last night trying to do Burning Wheel.
Yeah. I went to bed at like 2:30 last night because I was playing Starfield, and it's my fault.
Awesome. I went to bed at 2:30 the night before, which is why I was so tired yesterday.
Yeah. I feel like this is a common thing that occurs. I still can't find what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find the advanced move. And my brain just won't let me. Where's... I wrote this. How can I not find it? The moves. Thank goodness I found it. Okay, jeez. All right. So you got a great success on the advanced move, which I don't know if it's exactly the same on the handout or not, which is why I was looking for it in the rulebook. You can mark an additional segment, basically do another damage, create a temporary 1d6 tag, or if the target chooses to mark stress, you choose the source. In this case, it doesn't help you any, but basically, like, I can choose to mark a stress box to take 1 less damage, and I get to pick where that comes from, like any of his assets or whatever. But if you pick this, you tell me where it comes from, or I choose not to do it at all. But I don't think he just doesn't have anything he wants to use, so that would be a waste. So I assume you just want to do more damage anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So you were at standard, which was 2 damage. Then you got the Die of Fate, decided to increase it to advantage, which is 3 damage. And you increased it from the thing. So you do 4 damage, which if this was empty, would just fill it. But it's not. So instead what happens is he loses his bonus thing. Mm-hmm. You guys
fill in 3.
Get... Yes, these 3 are you guys now. Now he could spend stress to get rid of this, but again, he's saving his stress for the fight. Which attribute did you push yourself with? I gotta mark the...
Probably just what are they? Fortitude.
Yeah, it's either Fortitude or Cutie. I think both make sense. So I will place that. There we go. All right. That was a good turn. All right. So now we're on the new round. Yeah, that's the new round. So either one of you can go again. No.
So what's the actual description of this? Like what will I actually accomplish in terms of the narrative? I'm just curious.
So yeah, basically you I think we've got Mordecai driving, and basically maybe you say to Mordecai, like, just keep pushing him. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we see you dart off to the side. And yeah, I'm trying to think of how obviously we hear your humming, so we see sort of in your vision, like we can tell that you know where they are through the trees, right? Because of your song. And he's basically not going in a straight line, and you are, right? You're beelining for this thing. He's trying to shake you guys. Yeah, we just see you, like, maybe you shoot up above the jungle. We get a shot of the canopy, and it's like just this rolling mess of like
vegetation.
Yeah, fungal, like overgrown, what should be forest, but is instead intense jungle. We see little green clouds right over here and there. Yeah, I think we see you just shoot like really off into the distance. You shoot and like pull towards a tree that's really far away. You hit that one, you jump again. Like, so you're just making tons of as the crow flies distance in front of him. Mm-hmm. And then, we see him dashing. We cut back to Mordecai chasing him. You see him dashing between the trees, and you just like slam down in front of him, basically, and like, or I guess however you want to do it. You can tell me what you do. Basically, you are like right on top of him right now, but obviously he's still moving.
So what does it mean for damage? Is it just like I'm on top of him, basically?
Yeah. So
like really close?
when you finish this whole thing, you catch him, right? You put him either in a corner or you like he can still fight back when you catch him. Like this is leading to a fight. I apologize. I guess this will mostly be combat you catch him, you'll go into a fight, right? And technically you can try and hurt him right now. You don't have to during any conflict, you can decide to just try and shoot somebody and you'll just attack his health bar, but that doesn't progress you towards whatever you're trying to do. So he could just get away. Although it does impede hindrances on him if you hurt him, but
can I do something like I appear basically in front of him and maybe he does an erratic movement to one side and I use that opportunity to shoot a sliver into his back. Right. So I'm basically, and I'm trying to do it in such a way that I'm not just going to like land on him, but I'm like basically constantly slightly pulling on that tether just to keep me at that same pace with him. Now I'm like right behind him.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. And you're probably also like slightly slowing him down, right? If you're pulling towards him, you're bridging the distance. So,
but I'm trying to do it in such a way that he doesn't notice that he has this thing in his back and he's going to like try to tear it out or anything right now.
Right.
I'm being subtle about it.
Okay. Yeah. I guess
it goes in between two fungal plates.
Yeah, I'll describe it now because you guys you're close enough that you can see it now. It was kind of hard to see before. I just described it as a big lumbering shadow.
Yeah.
So you come down in front of this thing and you see. Actually, I think I had an image, which I'm sure I can't upload because this thing tells me I uploaded too many things. Delete item. Yes. Upload.
Yeah, if you need me to upload something, I can do it too. I have a lot more space on mine.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I think I have it on here, right? Shoot, maybe I don't. Maybe it was on my phone. Bummer.
Oh, is it that Pinterest thing that you sent me a while back?
Yeah. The one that looks kind of spidery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're able to find it.
Yeah, I'll scroll up. Go ahead and you can just describe it. And then
okay. Yeah. So what you see is a sort of like a 4, I'll say legs, but they're kind of like, I don't know, diamond shaped, like a rounded diamond. I don't know what you would call that, but they're kind of like pointy shields.
I found it. I hate this. I hate this so much.
Yep. It's sort of spidery with sort of like a humanoid-esque torso coming out of it, right? And out of the center of these 4 like sort of claw-like legs. But it has actually absolutely overgrown with fungal growth and chitin. And it is pretty large. I mean, if you were standing on the ground, it's probably like, I'd say 2 or 3 times bigger than you. So it's not like a tree, but it's big. I'd say so. It's probably 15 feet, something like that. It's big. It's 16 feet. You slam down in front of it. Yeah, there it is. That's what you see. Lots more fungus, but otherwise almost exactly that. Yep. So this little guy.
This planet is awful.
Yeah. He has big stabby arms too. Yeah, it's a great place. Did you get a chance to see it, Josh? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I deleted it and didn't check first. So you stick some. I mean, it probably isn't any way it could have noticed that, to be honest. If it's just like a little prong, yours isn't like a super needle like a Mordecai's is, so it probably couldn't notice. There's just too much fungal growth on it. So you guys are in a pretty good position to win this because you've got the +3 momentum. So why don't we close it out here?
Yeah, and I think probably the reason I don't immediately just attack it or try to pin it down is because I plan this out and I shoot the sliver in it, but then I actually see it and I'm just like, holy, what is that sort of thing, and then let it get a little bit ahead of me and then follow after.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, I guess here I'll show another thing here. So he's actually the chances of him winning this are very low, and he sees this now, right? So instead of just waiting to lose, in which case you guys have pretty much total control over how it goes down, like how you catch him in this case. He is going to concede, which means he gets a concession
Compromise.
in how it goes, right? So you catch him, but he gets a little bit of say in how it goes, how you catch him, right? So I think, and this is a negotiation, so you don't have to just carte blanche take what I say, but I think he's going to try and find a place that is contained, so like a cave or something, right, or like a large something with a ceiling, basically, right, that is less useful with your flying equipment and more useful for him. Because so he, I think, looks around, and assuming this works for you guys, he finds like a big I guess like a knot of trees that is so thick that it's basically a canopy, right? So it's still jungle, but it's basically just like a huge open. I guess it would be like if you found a clearing, but there was no sky to see, right? And he just lurches into that, and then sort of braces for a fight. Does that sound good to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So
bring out my superheated machete.
Yeah. So you catch him. Well done. He gives up. We'll leave magic carpet ride and mission briefing on here because I think they're both still relevant and still going. It is no longer dark or heavily wooded.
And so you described a cave, yes?
Yeah,
canopy of trees.
Yeah, so it's basically like a clearing of trees, but it's
kind of like an enclosed.
There's so much fungal overgrowth above it that it's that it's basically a big cave of trees. The squiggly lines here don't mean anything. I'm just splitting this off into like zones. Then I'm just chopping them into 4. I'm gonna say there's some. Oh gosh, you can't read yellow at all. Why is it yellow? Here it is. Just do this. All right. So this zone up here has some acid pustules in it. That if you use it in the description in some useful way, you get a dice. This one down here has some water, like questionable, really murky, probably not very clean water, but you have rebreathers on, you'll be all right. And these 2 are just open clearing, which actually I think can be a tag on its own. Basically, there's nowhere to hide here. So like if you're shooting at somebody that's in open ground, in this case, you're going to get more. They just have nothing to do with it. All right. And of course there's tree lines all the way around this. So like you can describe yourself as like being on the edge of the zone in the trees as well. And yeah, so he is going to, I should have made a token for that guy. Do I have? I don't think I have anything that would fit here. Actually, Caleb, would you mind terribly making a token for out of that thing? It doesn't have to be anything special, just like a ring out of its face.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. I guess I don't have tokens for you guys either, do we? But do you have images for your characters? I don't know, because we didn't actually make characters on here.
Yeah, I can find some at some point.
So I should have thought of that. But for now we can start because it's honestly we just have to know where you are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll make a token for him because I have that picture.
You have an image.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Got a 1. I assume that's you.
I'm a one man. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I am a single person, and therefore I have 1 top.
It's true. Do you want to make a 2 for Caleb?
Certainly.
Your greater expertise
my magic powers. Yeah,
Yeah.
just click and drag them from the chat.
Okay. Thank you. Righty. Wow, he's big.
Goodness gracious. Bigger than I thought. He's in all the acid pustules and the murky water and the open ground.
He's in all. You get all the dice. Is there a way to send him to the back? There we go. I want to be able to tell that there's a. So now I can't read it. Maybe if I make it white.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah, he runs in here and you see him spin around and face you, and I think you just hear like a really loud clicking roar. Yeah, you see it plant its feet and get ready to fight. So yeah, here we go. You guys, I think, get to initiate the fight. I think you guys get to go first here. Especially because you won the last conflict. I think it's fair. You drove him in here. So, yeah.
Is it still heavily wooded?
It is not heavily wooded anymore. It is night, but honestly, it is dark in here because even if it wasn't nighttime, there's no sun. So I will put that. I mean, I guess it is heavily wooded, but none of the trees are in your way, is what I mean. It's on the outskirts. There's nothing obstructing you otherwise. You're in kind of like a clearing, quote unquote. All right. So who would like to go first? Yeah, it just yells at you and plants its feet. This is not where it wanted the fight to happen.
I can go first because I think the idea here, the goal probably, if he's just gonna fight, is that Mordecai needs to pin him down with his pylons, his slivers, but we probably need to weaken him first. So I'm just gonna probably try to. I don't know. Is there an easy way during this conflict that we can just capture, pin him down instead of having to or do we have to wind down his clock here?
So that sort of, I guess you could.
Is there an overcome roll we could roll at any point?
Right.
Or
yeah, I guess it's really sort of up to how we want to do it, right? So if it's
because we don't actually want to hurt him even.
Right. So when you beat somebody, you decide what happens to them. Obviously, you have to injure it to get it there, unless they give up. But you don't have. If you beat something, you never have to kill it, right? Technically, as long as it's plausibly reasonable that you could have not killed it with what you were doing. And so you can end this fight by capturing it. If we decide that this is the thing we don't want to spend 45 minutes fighting and you just want to roll to overcome to capture it, you can. The thing is, I don't know, for one, he's kind of like a boss fight, so I don't think that that makes dramatic tension wise, but also I don't know that you have a way to hold him down. He's big without hurting him, right? If you can hurt him,
sure,
then
that's fine.
You can
I'll just go ahead and attack him then, I think.
Okay. And so your mission briefing will apply to this first. He has phases because he's a boss. Your mission briefing applies to this because you basically studied him and you're more or less familiar with this corruption kind of stuff. It won't apply to the rest of it probably, but this first part, you basically know about him, right? And I'll also say, because you have that, you know that his outer shell is weak to burning, right? Because that's their weakness in general is fire. Yeah. So you can use that.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tug hard on my tether here. And I assume what's happening is he's turning around to face us as he gets into this clearing. And so my tether starts kind of arcing me ever so slightly to the left. And so I'm going to take my machete out and just slash him probably towards the neck as I have this kind of slight arc around him. And then we'll end up on his back as I get pulled back to the tether. And then in theory, if I succeed in all of this, my goal will be slash him, kind of spin around, feet planted on his back with the tether, and then just snap it back and then jump off. Okay. Maybe tether myself somewhere else and then get away from him.
Sure. So primarily you're trying to do damage here, right? That's the intention. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll also so I guess the way that we were only using complex actions in, which is like a normal, basically a turn taking action, right? In the chase, because there wasn't really any reason to use simple actions. There wasn't anything else to do. In combat, there's simple actions and complex actions. Basically, that comes down to moving. Moving is a simple action. That's usually what you're doing. There are a couple other things you can do with a simple action, like that I've recently done. So I'm interested to see how this works, or how this plays out. You can
so I can move one zone for a simple action.
Yep. And if you you can also use your simple action to let me find the list. So you can do simple movement, which basically means you're not being actively opposed in your movement, right? Simple interaction, again, you're opening a door, doing something that doesn't, grab something out of a bag, something that doesn't require you to be someone's not fighting you, or it's not super hard, it doesn't take forever. Or you can focus, which is you just give yourself a dice to your main action. But that means you wouldn't be able to use your simple action to move, right? So basically, if you're like fighting in melee, you can.
I was gonna say for now, I'll just move and attack him, right?
Yep. But just so you're aware of how that works. So, yeah, and then
so I think I'm using Acuity for like quick action and stuff.
Yeah, this feels like a.
And that's 1 dice to start with.
Sorry.
And that's I get 1 die for that, or I start with the 2 in that.
Yeah, you have a 2 in Acuity, right?
Okay, that's yeah.
Okay. Yep, and you're using
probably Hellbreaker songs.
I assume
right?
You're probably switching to combat songs, right?
Yep, exactly.
All right.
So then that's 4, 5 with a die of fate.
Yep.
Let's see. I'll use mission briefing, because I know his weaknesses and stuff.
Yep.
And
then because you're using a heated weapon,
I get an extra one.
He has a hindrance or a drawback, I think, on something. Sorry, here we go. Yeah, combustible, weakness to thermal. So yeah, you get another dice from that.
So I'm at 6. 2, 4, 5,
yes, that sounds
right. So what is open ground doing in this?
That's
instance?
Basically means there's no cover. So like if you're shooting at him, he just doesn't have anything to hide behind. But he's so big that it doesn't really matter that much, anyways. But basically, you're kind of in an exposed position. I don't.
Well, would open ground help me in this instance, since I'm kind of trying to like Attack on Titan style maneuver around him with my pylons and stuff? Yeah,
I think that counts.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll go ahead and roll that. 4 successes, but the die of fate went to him.
Yeah, so you're curving around. He is just gonna try and like basically try and bat you out of the air, right? Just try and keep you from getting close.
Makes sense.
So for him, that's
who get an extra success.
Sorry. Oh yeah,
you got a success from the die of fate. Yeah.
Okay. Just his base. So what happened if I just do this? Let's do this right. 1, 2. It did do it right. Okay. You still got a success though, and this was I should have done this before. I think that it stands to reason that this has advantage because you had your dart in him already. You're in a pretty good spot here, I think. So that would have been 3 damage, not 2. I should have declared that before we rolled, but I forgot. So, but yeah, you get him. So that is 3 damage. So he's going to spend. Wait, you didn't get 3 over him, did he? No, just 1. Okay. He's going to spend some of his stress to. Well, yeah, I think he probably will. Because otherwise. Oh, he does have armor. Okay. So there should have been 2 more dice there. I thought he had armor and I didn't see it. Oh geez. All right. So he actually keeps. So basically, you would have got him, but you see that like the amount of growth he has on him is so thick that even though your fire's burning it away, it's like there's more underneath. Like you're like, oh, I got him, and then there's just it's just so thick that he kind of just doesn't seem to bother him too much. And he manages to just like push you away with his claw basically, and you gouge his chitinous overgrowth. And I mean he doesn't like it, but he doesn't seem overly wounded by it yet. And he is going to just try and turn his batting out there to like a slam, just like slamming to the ground. So So first one here. Ooh, that was a really good roll. And he gets the die fate roll. So yeah. You got 5 successes. So he's turning this sort of block into a claw, and he's just gonna try and smack into the ground. How are you trying to avoid it?
Probably just quick dodging, right? Because my initial plan was to just like kind of arc past him and then jump away. So I'm just trying to keep that momentum going. Maybe even just like tug on the sliver even harder and just move quicker than he can slam me. So I'm thinking acuity with combat songs again. Just being fast.
Good. And this attack is just standard for him. Normally, I think in this instance, I would have given him advantage because he just blocked you and like you were hanging in the air, but you have a way to move around midair. So
yeah, and can I get open ground again since that'll help me?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Evade him. I have more space to maneuver with.
That makes sense.
All right, here we go. Oh, die fate was a 1. Oh no.
No, actually, he had the die fate.
You had the die fate, and it was a success for me.
No, I got a 4. I got a 4, so it was a success for me. Sorry. Yes, but you don't have to roll the 1.
Yes,
I guess.
But
that was a really good roll.
Not good enough though.
Yeah, not quite. Except that you could spend a bond point to reroll your fails. Or your fail. You got 1.
I got 2.
Yeah, but it wasn't one of those die fate.
One of those die fate. Yeah. So just the 1. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you could coin flip it if you want.
I will coin flip it. I think I have plenty of bond points to spend. I'll do Hellbreaker Scout. Right.
I would say too close to the sun because you're too close to the guy punching you. But
well, that would be if I failed. That'd be.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, I guess it's your trouble one. But anyways, that's true.
Yeah.
All
right. So I'll just spend it on Hellbreaker Scout and do a coin flip here.
Okay.
Does this open end automatically? Or how do I open end things?
Thanks. As of right now, I don't think there is an open ending mechanic.
Oh, okay.
There's basically like a call on, but not an open end.
Got it. For some reason, I thought there was.
Or I think you can choose, because like if you rolled a bunch of 6s and you didn't want to reroll, you can choose open end instead. I think that's what it is. But in this case, you don't have any 6s to open end. So.
I just had a coin flip. Okay, here we go. Yay!
Nice. All right, there you go. Yeah, so you managed to. Well, I mean, you describe it, but you managed to get away from him.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very like. My plan was because he's turning, right? Like my arc is slightly going to the left as the sliver moves position. And so I just see him coming, his slam comes down, and I just like overwork the gauntlet and just zip around in a way that probably yanks my spine around a little bit, but like I managed to hold on and then end up landing on his back, and then I just it goes back in the gauntlet, the sliver does, and I just shoot it at a nearby fungal tree and then zip away.
Nice. Very
cool. I'm still in the same zone, but yeah.
He does get a boost from the partial, like the costly success, quote unquote. But yeah, the tie. And it's Mordecai's turn. You see Zion zipping around this big old guy.
Yep.
And I guess you can't use your
I can't use my silver sliver manipulator yet.
Yeah, but you're still fine. So
yeah, so I think Mordecai like flips his kind of rather unwieldy backpack around and just starts like funneling things in there. He like pours in a big vial of oil and stuff into it.
Nice.
Throws in like some what is like clearly just bat guano. Like
Nice.
just throwing random things in there and just starts winding it up. And he's gonna try and essentially lace his lace his slivers with white phosphorus, essentially,
okay,
to make them like as burn hot as they fly around.
Cool, that's awesome. All right, yeah. That sounds
good. Whatever opposing roll does get a d6 to their roll, because it is unwieldy, I believe.
Oh yeah, because we're in combat, right? Okay, so yeah, it's just the well, yes, it's going to be pretty easy. I think. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's. Yeah, so I think it'll just be standard. I think, yeah, for the thing here, the advantage, mostly because we're in combat, and yeah, so I think it makes sense that it's you're doing it quickly here.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that most of your stuff is like best at preparing, and you started the session in the middle of the chase. Didn't really get a lot of chance to prepare, but that's all right.
All good.
Yeah.
So, which stat would I be basing this on? Is it a willpower thing or an acuity thing?
Good question. I think you can argue either. I think you know this well enough that you're probably not having to rack your brain for formulas. I'm sure this is a pretty common thing for you. This is probably a pretty effective measure. So
I am a paranoid pyromaniac, so I think making fire is probably a very habitual thing for him.
Yeah, so I think in this case it's probably more about how quickly you can do it, which in this case is good for you, right? Because you have higher agility. So
so it's 3 from that, and then just explain to me how I'll calculate tags for it.
Yeah, sorry. So your asset, as long as you're using it in the way that the basic tags imply you should, you get a dice for it. It has a quality. I didn't write it on here because it's 1, but you can improve the quality and then the number will go next to the name. Putting a 1 next to it would help, but it looked busy when I did it.
And then an extra die on top of that for incendiary, because that's what I'm trying to do with it.
Yes, right. Yep. So you get 1 for the thing being used properly and then 1 for incendiary because that's the intention there. It helps.
Yep.
And I think that's probably everything. And then the die fade, of course. So you're at 6. That's all right.
Sounds good. Could I argue my magic carpet ride means I'm not in easy reach of anything to stop me?
Possibly. I wonder if this would be harder to do midair, holding onto a big heavy backpack. I don't know, because I
think that's what the unwieldy thing is intended to.
Well, right. I'm just saying I don't know if magic carpet would help you necessarily. I guess you're not being punched, but yeah, I'm not sure.
That's all good.
Yeah,
it shall do. So it'll die in fate and then 5d6.
I'll give you a mission briefing though, because I think that makes sense. You're building fire because that's what you're supposed to do.
So die fate and then 6 extra.
Yeah,
cool.
There's no way you don't get this. So yeah, there you go. So when you create an advantage, create a tag, that's the new name. Got to remember that. So you had standard,
similar to, but legally distinct.
Right? Yeah. Fortunately, Fate's nice enough to be open license, I think, but still, yeah. So you create a 1d16 or hindrance tag. So you could also
license. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing making this game. But
yeah, well, it's different enough now that I don't think it matters anymore. Yeah. But yeah, before it was not. But because you got a great success, you got 3 more over the opponent. You can also choose to improve the created tag by 1d6, or you can have this have been a simple action instead of a complex action. So basically, you can do another thing, or you can mark 1 segment of a relevant progress clock. There's nothing you did here that would damage him, so you can't pick his health. But if there was something like, say your created advantage was, I want to grapple him, and you rolled really well, you could also decide I hurt him a little, right? But in this case, I don't think that's a relevant pick, but that is an option technically. So yeah, I think really you're looking either at improving the tag to a 2d6 instead of 1, or having it be simple instead of complex, which means you can make another complex action. You can attack or make another thing, whatever you want to do.
In that case, I'll improve it to a 2d6 tag.
All right. So here we go. Let's see. That's on brain. There you go. We're doing it. Good stuff. All right. Yeah. So we see you just dump all your spikes into white phosphorus. They must be treated, I'm assuming, in some way to not melt.
Probably.
But yeah, nice. Very cool. And now it's a good thing that you picked sweeping in that area, or you'd be totally wrecking Zion's day every time you attack this guy. Cool. Good stuff. And now it's top around. So either of you can go again.
Sweet.
Do you want, Josh?
You mind to? Yeah, I'll have a go. Why not? Yeah. I think we see Mordecai kind of fly up, just up a little bit so that he's got a better angle in it. It doesn't move his own or anything. He's just flying up a bit more. I'll probably use my simple action to focus.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then he just like, we see him like spin up, like a good half dozen of these slivers, and then just like start pelting them straight at him.
It turns into a Gundam.
Yeah, and then as soon as he runs out of slivers, he just starts like holds up the gauntlet, and all of them like hopefully like gets dragged straight through the creature back up to his glove, and he grabs them again.
Nice, very cool. All right. What does he want to do about that? I think in this case, normally this isn't the kind of thing he could just like block, because they're fire covered piercing super arrows. But for reasons unknown as of right now, I think it is actually possible for him to just kind of tank it. It'll hopefully become clear in a moment. So he is going to try to do that. We'll see how that goes. I don't think his muscles are going to help him any here. He basically just throws up his like chitin arms, and he's gonna try and he has a boost. He's gonna try and just. Oh, is that your roll?
No, that was the
that was something else.
That was the enchanting one.
Okay. I was like, wow. He's gonna try and just let them hit the most least dangerous thing on his body. Just no, that wasn't right. Oof, he does not do a good job. All right. I have a feeling this is going to go badly for him. This is going to be a big old pile of dice for you, because
So 3 from acuity. Open ground will help me.
Yes, you're shooting at him. Yep, especially with this weapon.
Yep. Magic missile is another 2, so that's it's up to 6.
Yep.
Can I get magic carpet ride for narrating the better angle?
Yeah.
Yep.
You also get the slivers. Did you count them already? Sliver and the penetrating. So that's 9.
That is 9. Yeah.
You also get 1 from his being not a fan of fire, so 10. I know that you create an advantage for that, but he has a hindrance. That's one of his weaknesses, so you also get a dice for that. So that's 10, and then that So
Alrighty.
I don't know. I don't think you're gonna be able to do it. I don't know. 11 dice, 2 successes. I don't know.
Oh, stranger things have happened.
It's true. It's true.
And a positive twist.
Nice. There you go. Yeah. So you can. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty. I should have. Again, I always forget to do this. Should have said this is probably an advantage move. I mean, he's not in a good spot to defend against this, especially in his current form. So you also. That means you're doing 3 damage as a base, and then you get to either mark an additional segment, so do 4 before he does stress, create a 1d6 temporary tag, or if the target chooses to mark stress, you can choose where he has to mark it from. In this case, I think he really only has like 1 or 2 good options, but basically you could force him to like mark an asset stress instead of a physical stress or whatever.
Yep, we included penetrating, didn't we? Yep. Sweet.
Yeah, unfortunately, like getting more than that doesn't really like it's not like a scale of successes.
Makes sense.
So yeah, which one would you like to do? Would you like to create a temporary 1d6 tag or mark an additional segment?
Just an additional segment, I think.
All right, cool. So he's taking 4 damage. So he's going to mark one of these. Well, it doesn't matter really. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So actually, his first form doesn't have enough health to matter if he spends a stretch or not. So yeah, basically what happens here is you tear off the outer layer of like gross overgrown corruption. So you tell me what that looks like. I mean, you kind of already described it, but basically you kill his first form here, the one that's covered in gross stuff.
Yeah, I think what happens is Mordecai like throws his slivers and like punches into like the backside of it, and then he drops down, flies down closer to the ground, and then when he calls them back to the glove, they essentially just like slice off the back of it.
Nice. Awesome. I never even used his poison breath, and now he can't use it anymore. Bummer. Oh well. Very nice. Yeah, you totally just rock this outer form, and as his like all of this fungus burns away. It probably smells awful, but fortunately you have rebreathers on. You see beneath it, again, it's a similar shape to the one you were fighting, but it's a little more like the image in that it's like it looks like bone, but it's kind of too smooth to be bone in some ways. It looks kind of strange, almost like a hybrid between like metal and bone, like if metal was really porous and you could tell it was visually. It has like a much less creepy face. Like it has sort of a hard angled, it almost kind of like a robotic looking sort of structure to its face. And both of you, I think, would probably be aware enough of this to know that this is what the Malavim looked like. Probably not exactly what it looked like, because it's been like kind of warped. But this is the Malavim's corpse that you're looking at right now, underneath all of this burned away garbage.
And didn't we decide that like the Malavim on this planet kind of acted almost as like dryads or whatever, some sort of like forest spirits or something to the people here before the collapse came or whatever? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I guess it's probably kind of dark. I think we described it as sort of like a blackish color or like a really dark wood color. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's that. I guess that it would have that difference. It wouldn't be exactly like bone. Although it's probably white now, it's covered in ash. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and but it's still moving, and you see it like it flails and screams and like it's roaring as all of its it's like the chittering kind of like dies slowly, and it just sort of turns into a more guttural roar as all of like the weird stuff that was making the chittering sound burns away. Mm-hmm. And
this was mainly like the head stuff being burned off.
So the whole body was covered in this. In the image, it was mostly just the head, but the whole body was covered in.
Right. But what I mean is that's what Mordecai did, was like take it off the head portion of it, or
he burned most of it. So it basically had a form where it was covered in that stuff, and it doesn't have that anymore.
Okay. So this is the corpse that we're now dealing with.
Yes. Yeah. So there's probably little like scrapes of like, you see weirdly like muscular, like it looks like muscle, but it's made out of some other weird like fungal material. It's not typical muscle.
Yeah, I miss the extent of how much this.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And it's his turn, so he is very upset with you. He's gonna move over here and just
calm down, darling. We're getting to you. A good haircut takes time.
Nice. He just takes both of his big, like, slab hands and tries to slam them down onto you.
It's really funny hearing Josh do a more exaggerated Australian accent, because I realize how my Australian accent that I would attempt would sound more like the fake exaggerated version that Josh is putting on right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, I guess this is all he gets on that, because all of his cool stuff burned away. So oops. Is that right? Just that and okay. Well, I do successes.
And then I'm just making a defense roll, correct?
Yeah, what does it look like when he just comes up with an overhead, just trying to like squish you like a bug? What does that look like when you try and avoid that? I guess technically the operations here is I should describe what I'm doing. You should describe how you're reacting. I decide what the interaction is there advantage wise, and then we do dice. So, but I keep doing it out of order. Sorry. But yeah, what does that look like when you try and get away?
Yeah, I think he literally sees it approaching, and frantically fishes around in his pockets and just like pulls out a small pebble and throws that in the rapid reaction matrix, and then splashes it on himself, and like we see his skin start to turn to stone, and we'll see if it actually functions quick enough.
Nice. Okay. Good stuff. Well, so looking right here. So that's you're basically just gonna try and take it on the chin, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So that'll be a fortitude thing then. And you've got your reaction matrix.
Yeah. So it'll be aspect transference with armored. Is what he's trying to do.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. So we got those. I know we can call it 5 because we got magic carpet ride. You're still moving, you're still flying, so you can get yourself some ground and stuff. Yeah. So, I didn't roll his die of fate. I don't think I did not. 1 second. So this will be the die of fate. Okay. Oh no.
There you go.
Whoops.
So he's going to choose to increase the advantage thing. So he'll do 3 damage if he hits you.
Okay, cool. So that's my 5.
Oof. Nice. All right. Yeah, so we see you hop back as you're flying, just give yourself enough time to like harden, and then he slams down on you, and we see the stone shatter, but you're fine. And he looks at it almost confused, like, you step on a spider and you see the spider come out from under your shoe and you're like, how did that happen?
Well, somebody's grumpy.
There you go. Whatever. Yeah, cool. So nice, well done. And I think that's your turn. No, it's Zad's turn.
Yep. Yes.
You up?
Let's see. What do we know what his clock is at right now? Are we not supposed to know?
This form is undamaged.
Oh, okay. So we just got
stages,
off
basically.
Okay,
yeah.
I see. I like any good boss fight. Very good, very good. The health bar goes back up, and we're like, oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like again, I don't want to damage him too much per se. At least narratively, right? Like I don't want to like cut off limbs or whatever. We're trying to study this thing. I think I will attempt to so I have a knowledge of Skovrane magic, which would include, I assume, the spore stuff that is going on here. Or I guess I have Skovrane magic and discordic magic are my specialties in Arcana.
Yeah, probably more like discordic magic because this is more like a corruption, like a Balahim era. Is that right? I don't know. Evil to no Tanner and corruption.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there some way that I could, just like with my Arcana asset, describe myself as like pulling out some sort of Hellbreaker device, maybe a little bit more on the sci-fi side of things, that I could use to, using my knowledge of the discordic spores and stuff, try to basically set up some sort of jamming field, because if we know that there's like communication is the thing that is like the magic system of this world functions on communication between different individuals in like a hive mind. And even though this is corrupted, it's still working on those fundamental principles. Is there a way that I could set up some sort of jamming field to prevent the spores from like at least temporarily like talking to each other? So as like more of like a setup advantage sort of thing, like just to get him to. Oh well, no, I could probably frame it as an attack too, right? Like more to disable him than to strictly attack. Like
okay, so you're saying sort of like disrupt the function of the spores inside of it.
Spores, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think.
Trying to figure out how I would do that exactly, but
yeah. Well, so you could.
Is there a song that I could just sing that would
probably not? Because I think that they probably would do that if they could, right? Fair like enough, that would probably be a really easy way to. But
yeah, this would be some sort of like prototype of something that we haven't tested yet or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be cool if you want to spend a bond point to do like a flashback thing. You can have a device that is sort of like a field that like a blackout field for that kind of communication. I think that would.
I'm imagining it looking like sort of like one of the slivers, except a little bit bigger and having a button on it. So it's like it has a feel like, you know, where the slivers work on like some sort of magnetic connection. This would be like some sort of like, it's similar. Like I probably jury rigged it or someone else jury rigged it based on the sliver technology to instead doing of having some sort of like magnetism or gravitational thing just to have something else.
Yeah, it'll probably be like a one-time use thing. Since it's not like an asset, but it's probably cobbled together. Maybe something you made. Because you have a unique.
I think I probably had someone who has like a little bit more knowledge of technology work with me on it, but I probably had the idea for it.
Right. I mean, having knowledge about both the Skovrane and discordic stuff here going on here, I think you're in a pretty unique position to be able to do that. Most people don't have much interest in discordic magic because it's evil. So like they don't. So yeah, if you go ahead and spend a bond point, you do that. I think this is probably a creative advantage thing. I'm not sure it would necessarily because they're all
trying
like
to just like disable him, right? Like I'm trying to like
that's
cause damage in a non-lethal sense is my idea here, right?
Okay. Yeah, sure. That sounds good. So,
because like our full success here, if he doesn't happen to concede by the end of it, would be like disabling him and not like actually murdering him. So
right, yeah. Sure. So, let's see. We'll go ahead and. I mean, I guess this is kind of like an attack on his willpower, almost probably. It's against his mind. So sort of. So yeah, that will be
7 dice
cool.
for me.
Yeah.
Die of Fate, Acuity, my asset of Arcana with both Skovrane and Discordic magic, and then the mission briefing.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Whoop. 76. Hey, I
7
did get a crit
successes.
on that 76 there, though.
Oh, man. Wow. That's bonkers.
What a dice pool system that would be.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Oh, no, that is so much worse.
Oof. And it gives me a success from the Die of Fate. Yeah, that's rough.
Nice.
He doesn't actually. I don't think this applies here. So just, I think, his 3. Oops. Yeah, so he gets 3 successes. That's not enough to put him 3 over you.
With my Die of Fate, though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think
or sorry, 3. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You see, I think it's like you can tell that something about the Malavim corpse is obstructing this. Like there are spores in here, but it seems like they're being sort of insulated by the corpse because it's a whole it's not like breached at all.
My field is not able to reach them.
You can tell it doesn't like it. But it doesn't seem
is there a possibility of me spending 2 bond points to actually it's just a call on, right?
You can reroll.
To reroll all the fail. Yeah. So they have a lot of failures. Might as well just do that.
That's true. Yeah, go ahead.
On Magical Mystery Investigator. This is kind of my jam.
Yeah, you rigged this together, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I get to reroll the Die of Fate or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, so then 5. Here we go. No.
Really?
That's a bummer.
Oh no. Oh, but I was gonna say you tied me, but technically he has 3. I didn't do the plus 1,
exactly.
but Hummer.
All good. I tried and failed.
It's close.
Zion will continue to be less confident about everything he does. It'd be fine.
Oh boy. All right, top of the round. I think I did have a rule where nemesis like this, the bosses get to act twice. I didn't use that, but I'm starting to think maybe I should have. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This will be. I don't want to change it in the middle of the fight because then it'll taint my experiment. So, who wants to go first?
I can probably go again
round, right?
here. Yeah. And just be like, well, that didn't work, and then just like go in and stab him, right?
Sure.
Just activate the combat song again and just be like, well, like we don't want to die here. So even if we do more damage to the thing than we want it to, I think it's better to just attack. So I toss my broken technology.
Yeah, I think I missed part of the brief. Like, is it an actual requirement that we are meant to?
I guess it's not
undamaged,
technically,
or is it something that
like we could just look at its corpse? But my goal was like make sure that we can actually examine it in its full as detail as possible because we're trying to find out its weakness, right? And the thing is, we don't actually even know how to kill these things, right? So it's not like we could kill
them. The goal here was to try and figure out how to kill these things.
Yeah.
And so if you kill it, you know what's going to happen. It's going to sort of evaporate into the atmosphere or into like the nether and reform to a new, or not a new, but the Tannerin will reform. So you're trying to find a way to keep that from happening. And your 2 options are fight this thing or fight the one that's in a god that could easily kill everybody if you do it wrong. So this is like the stepping stone. You're like, if we can figure out how to do it to this guy, we might be able to figure out how to permanently kill the corrupted.
So we don't want to kill this thing because that will just send the Tannerin back into the ether. What we want to do, it probably doesn't matter how much damage you do to it then. It's just like, it does matter to me because I think like there's still an aspect of science that's in play here where I'm like, I would rather have an untainted, undamaged corpse that I can, or a vessel that I could look at. But the idea here is that we don't, at the very least, we don't want to destroy it. We want to be able to study it. And the goal is to kill them, but kill them permanently in a way that we don't know how to do yet. So,
but my intention with this fight was that you can sort of just wail on him, and again, when you take somebody out, you decide what happens to them, and so you can sort of end the fight as you want. He will have injuries, but
well, perfect. Then we'll just sort of have the fight be we learned the secret. That'll be our victory. There you go. We kill him in the exact right way and do the thing.
Yeah, sure.
That's the intent, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Our intent is to save the world in this role.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's skip the fighting the god part. That's our intent for this fight, is to win the entire thing.
So he gets real mad, and he starts flailing really hard at you because you're in front of him, Mordecai. And he is going to try and squish you again, but this time.
Well, I didn't actually make my roll, didn't I?
You didn't?
I don't think so. I just failed the because we went to the top
right,
round. And I was just
turn.
like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, you're good.
You went again. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Either way, one of us should be making a roll before he does. But I think the intention was I go stab him.
I was confused.
All good.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so Acuity, Hellbreaker songs, combat songs, Die of Fate, and that's probably it.
Looks like it, yeah.
So that's
you can use mission briefing doesn't apply anymore because I'm just gonna. Well, I won't delete it, but it doesn't apply to fighting this part because you're fighting the angel body now, basically.
The part that we didn't have information on. Yeah.
Yeah.
3, and the Die of Fate was in my favor. That's good.
Nice. All right. Yeah, he is just gonna try and tank this. So.
Well, then I jet fighter it.
I bring in the Death Star.
All right, I'm trying to. Oh, hey. How much did you fail that roll by before? 1? Your like blast thing? It was just 1 dice off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another dice for
me.
Yeah. For your other roll is okay. So you only get a boost from this anyways because it was tie. But it doesn't work. That thing you made, the blast, didn't work as well as you hoped it would, but you still get a boost from it. There was a reason I think that you should have gotten another dice there that I won't spoil for now, but right. So you got a boost there. So you can use that now if you want. Also, sure. But we don't know if you need it yet. Or yeah, I guess. So sorry.
Well, that didn't help.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got how many successes did you get ultimately here? It's
3.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so you notice that like the blade just whatever enchantment is working on this blade just does not seem like it doesn't even look like it heats this body up when you hit it, right? Like it just doesn't seem to work for some reason. So like the main thrusting point of this blade literally is kind of weirdly not interacting the way you'd expect. Like even just for hard armor, right? Like it should get hot or something, right? It just seems like it's ignoring it in a strange way.
Very fun.
I guess I should have said earlier that would have had a disadvantage, so it would have been 1 damage if you'd hit him, but I always forget. So something about that seems like it's not working very well.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, and it's his turn now. So now he will smush somebody or try. He's going to push himself because he doesn't have very many dice to killing things. Turns are out that hauling around a dead corpse isn't the most effective way to punch things. All right, so here we go. So Mordecai, he comes at you again. He's going to, I think he's actually just going to try and like grab you in his hand, like his claw. I guess he doesn't have hands. I guess it's trying to squish you. He's just going to try and like grapple you, but I don't know that he can do that.
Which one of us is he attacking?
You.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, Zion hasn't had much luck, so he's just focusing on the guy who absolutely bodied his flesh thing. Here we go. Oh, I got a 6 on the thing. Right. Let me look at that again. I just want to see if there's any other than. Yeah, I guess I'll just improve the advantage level. So this will be 3 damage if it hits you. And you got 3 successes. So what does it look like when you try to evade? Are you just trying to fly out of the way? That's a legitimate response.
Yeah, and I think he like again he's like dodging around, but he's like still popping things into his thing. Only this time he like pulls out a small piece of like pumice and shoves that in, and then as like the big claws have it coming toward him, it literally seems like he's almost too light, and just the wind, like the air displacement of the claw coming at him, like blows him out of the way.
That's funny. Nice.
He taps, or he stores all of his weight into his metal mind. Instead of as light as a feather.
There you go.
So this probably will be acuity 3, and then aspect transference for 2 more, and magic carpet ride for 6.
Oh.
Let's see. I think I will spend a bond point on Iconoclast Improviser.
Sure, yeah, go for it. So that's 5. Can we roll?
Yep.
Oh no!
Goodness.
Oh no!
That was terrible.
Yeah. So this isn't going to feel good. At least he didn't get a great success, because that would have been rough. But yeah. So he swings at you, and like you said, it starts to displace you, but he's fast enough that it catches you, and like he just roars and like hits you as hard as he can, and you go flying back into the trees. And being light almost kind of like doesn't help, because it just like flies you super far into the tree. You stay in the same zone, obviously, but you slam into the back of it. So now that one of you has finally been hurt after all this time, I'll explain how damage works.
David. We're just too good.
Yeah. So the way damage works is you can spend a stress to reduce the damage by 1. You're taking 3 damage right now. You have 4 health. The clock in the middle is your health. So as it stands, he would take 3 of your 4 boxes, and you would get a -2, like a 2 dice hindrance, right? It'd be pretty bad. What you can do is you could spend 1 stress on anything, probably acuity here, you're dodging. Basically, you can push yourself to reduce that by 1. So you only take 2 instead of 3. You can also do this with assets. So say you've run out of stress up here, you can say, oh, I overclock my sliver manipulator, and I use it to take some of the slivers to like take some of the blow before it hits me, and it shorts out, but I take less damage. Right? You can do something like that if you want. There's no reason to do that if you have viable stress remaining in your track, because it's objectively better to do that. So yeah, there's really no reason not to. Cool. So you take 2 damage instead of 3. So let me grab the. That was the wrong. That didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right. Plop that in there, and we will put. Guess so. We've got. Think you feel like your shoulder like pop out of its socket, and it like you get the screaming pain that shoots through your shoulder. You manage to like jam it back in, but it's sore and like doesn't move right at the moment. Yeah, so the way this works is you only ever get the worst hindrance against you, so he doesn't get 3 dice here, he just gets the 2 because it's the worst one. But when it comes to healing them, you might get rid of this one and not that one, so that's why I put both. Each segment that you fill gives you its own hindrance, except for the last one, because you die instead. So I mean, you don't like instantly splatter. They decide what happens to you, basically, when that one fills. You also can do the same thing I was talking about before. You can, I assume that you won't, but you can concede, and basically you're taken out of the fight in a way that you kind of have some control over. You can't contribute to the conflict anymore, but you basically get to be sure that you don't die. You can't do that while an attack is resolving, or an action is resolving in general. So it has to be like, after or before a roll's going on, but you can be like, nope, I get knocked out and I fall far enough away that they don't know I'm there. Right. That's always an option, just so you know. And I mean, I think he's probably not nice. I see. Made a token for this. I don't know if he's coherent enough to realize that he hasn't killed you. So he is going to run back over here with his simple action and try and take out Zion. Because he's throwing you into the trees. He thinks you're dead. Alrighty. And now I think it's Mordecai's turn, right? Yeah.
Turns out the lady's got some moves. Hang on. That's terrible. And he gets up, and I think he would Mordecai have noticed that the fire wasn't seemingly to take too much effect?
Well, he was behind you. You guys can communicate about it if you want. That seems like maybe something he would have shared with you. Does Zion call anything out to Mordecai about that?
About
your fire not really seeming
fire
to work?
not working. Yeah, sure. We're probably communicating about that.
Because you were behind him, so he wouldn't have seen it, but I assumed you would have been like, that's not good.
Maybe like as you're getting out Mordecai, I shout across the distance to you and just say, my blade isn't working. I don't really know what we're dealing with here.
But I like fire. Damn it.
I know you do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you think he says,
so no,
if it don't broke, I'm still doing it. And I'll use my simple action to move over to this zone. And then I think he just like plants some of the still burning what are they called? Slivers into these acid pustules.
Okay.
And then uses reverses the polarity to like shunt them like catapults these acid pustules over there.
Okay, cool. I like it. Nice. All right. Yeah, good stuff. So we got.
Let's see if boiling acid does the trick.
Yeah. You get 3 from magic missile and acid pustules. You get 1 from die fate, so that's 4. Then you've got your. I think we'll still call this acuity 7, and 8 for manipulator, 9 for penetrating. That's a big die pool you got there. Don't really know that your shoulder helps him any here because it doesn't really seem like it would. You're just sending things at him. So I think in this case, he's not going to benefit from your damage.
Mhm.
I think if you were using your arm to like move the stuff, I would still impose it, but you're letting the pustules do the accelerating, which I think is smart. So that's 9 dice for you, including that's the die fate included. And he, I mean, yeah, I think he's basically just going to try and rely on his armor to keep him up. He's just going to try and absorb the blow, basically. Mm-hmm. So, I'll just say this is a standard thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna kill him right here.
Try.
He's gonna use his boost because I keep forgetting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Great. There we go. And he got 9 dice, so he probably won't get a great success damage on him, but yeah, there we go. You got it. If you want, you can try re-rolling some and see if you can get 6, and then you do more damage. As it stands, you'll be doing 2, and this chunk of him's got 3. So if you're able to get a great success, you could finish him.
Yeah. I mean, I might as well try it. That was 9 dice and 4 successes, so 5 dice.
Yeah. Actually, oh yeah, no, you got die phase success. Yeah, 5 dice. Yeah. Jeez.
There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, nice. There you go. He could spend a stress to reduce this by 1, but then there's no reason. He's going to lose and run out of time. So, so weirdly, and you both notice this because it's significant. The fire on his arrows does not seem to be impeded by whatever was impeding the sword. It just melts straight through the carcass, and like you're not sure if it's the acid that like mostly this is the phosphorus. The acid is mostly like projecting them, right? But like you see it just punch a hole straight through it, like in a few different spots, and it very quickly you can tell that it's losing control of like its ability to manipulate this thing. Just structural integrity, I guess. And after a few hits, like they basically just like shotguns through them, I think, and it like staggers, and then like it goes to like take a swing at Zion, and then it kind of like the arm just kind of goes limp, and then like it slowly starts losing control of the thing. Is like you see it like burning or like melting almost, which is really weird because it's the exact opposite of what happened when Zion attacked it. And yeah, you see it kind of slump. And we'll call the combat there, but you do see a do you have that image I sent you of like the weird eye thing?
Mm-hmm.
Could you put that up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. I think all that stuff's on my phone. So
I have our chat here, and I can just
perfect.
Actually do it over here. That'll be easier. You can just click on the media that we've sent back and forth from each other in that chat, and
right, yeah,
pretty easy to
that's good.
Find it from there.
Forgot about that. Go ahead and delete this guy.
So just the eye.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The right eye. The clonker. That's funny. Oh, all right. So you see this thingy, this giant sort of ball of fungal meat almost, filled with like red veins, and these like weird little fungal tendrils that come off of it, like sloughs out of it, and it's there's quite a lot of extraneous tendril on this thing, because it was controlling something quite a lot larger than it. It's probably like basketball sized, but obviously the thing was like 16 feet tall. So it's just like a giant roiling mess of little tendril things, and it sloughs out of like one of the big sections of armor kind of clicks off, and he like slumps through it, and he tries to make a break for it. He's not fast, so do what you want, but he's making a break for it. This won't be a conflict, I guess is what I'm getting at, but he's going to try and escape. See, how would you do? I mean, you can both fly. If you can both fly, then I'd say there might be a roll here, but he's not going to get away.
Yeah, I mean, like I probably wanted to just like pin it down.
Yeah.
So like if I could just like shout to Mordecai, like, you're better with those slivers than I am. Go ahead and pin him down. I think we can study him from here.
Oh, hi, boss. Sorry, I didn't preserve the corpse much. I didn't feel particularly preserved myself. Hang on. Like, just throws a few slivers at it.
Yeah, and he kind
makes a little ringing cage out around it.
Yeah, Zion, I think, whispers to himself. He just says, "The lives of my men are more important than the mission at hand." He's like maybe quoting something.
Yeah. Oh, I will say, yeah, you get to choose how you kill things. So I described you as destroying it, but like, I mean, punching a bunch of holes in it. But you can have had more control over it if you want, and like, even still, your weapons aren't like super huge, so there's probably not a ton of damage to the actual body itself. I think as ways of disabling it go, this was pretty precise. So there's definitely still a lot of that corpse left, if you need to use it for your research or whatever. Although it is very large, so I don't know how you're gonna move it. But anyway, sorry, I just want to make that point.
We'll just set up a base camp right here.
Yeah, well, it's a long rest.
I wonder what this will make in my rapid reaction matrix.
Just shove the whole thing in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we just see the
you pin it down? Yeah,
slivers. Yeah, just pin it down.
Yeah. It doesn't get away. I think it like you make like a cage around it, and it's like its little tendrils are burning up because there's a million tendrils, and it can't like contain them all. But it's just like, but yeah, it's not dying. It's just it can't get out, or it'll get burned up. So yeah. What would you like to do? We can sort of wrap it up here quick, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking we probably just like take a look at the thing, and then
sure.
We can probably save the actual.
Yeah, Mordecai starts treating his shoulder pretty much immediately, rather than branching out.
And sorry, did you described obviously this eye thing, and you said the eye thing itself was the thing that was like running away?
Yeah, it was trying to get away.
How did it move exactly? I don't know.
It has all these tendrils that it was controlling with, so it's kind of just like
all right.
wobbling around on it, or like rolling on them, kind of.
Okay. Because you described running, and I was like, did I miss like there was like a third corpse as well that it was piloting? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, out of that mech drops a smaller mech, and out of that mech drops a smaller
mech. Yeah. How many mechs are there?
Yep. But yeah, so it's pretty much just stuck in a ring of brain. Although I don't know how close you can get to it. It's white phosphorus. You might want to undo some magic here.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna probably do all of that next time. I think we just like are looking at the corpse, and maybe is this like the point where maybe the rest of the Hellbreakers catch up to us?
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
Arlo noticed we left and was like, "What are you doing, you stupid idiots?" And then ran after us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you see maybe just to end on sort of like something dramatic. I think you see like you hear a noise in the edge of this, like I guess I don't know, here, where's the entrance at? How does one erase? Is there a race?
No, you have to select the whole line and destroy it.
Bummer. All right.
Sucks.
We'll just say that the entrance was like over here because I think he like ran across the pond. Anyways, and yeah, you hear like sort of wet footsteps behind you. And what was your guy's name? I wrote it somewhere. I know
Kai.
I did. Kai. All right. Yeah, I know I made notes for this. Where are they? It's frustrating. Are they in the Tears of Skovrane thing? No, I'm so confused. I gotta find where I wrote those notes. At any rate, yeah, Kai, it's shows up and says, well, I think he says, Zion Mordecai, are you? What is that? Like he stops and just puts it.
I'm a human being.
and I ignore Mordecai and I say, that's what we're here to find out, Kai, as I'm just like watching it.
Well, you might want to make it fast. The rest are just behind, but we saw a lot of movement in the jungle, and I'm not sure what's coming, but there's a lot of them. We could probably hold them off for a little while, but this is not there's only one entrance into this place, really.
Yeah, I think I say, I don't know how easy it will be to move any of this. I'll do my work as quickly as I can, but Kai, Arlo, Mordecai, if there's one exit, that also means there's one entrance, and that means that one entrance is a threshold, protected.
As you command, sir, and he like gestures, and like some people pull in, and your guys, 10 or 15, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was 20. Guys pile in and take up like shooting positions in the like in the open ground over here where they're not knee deep in water, that kind of stuff. Just try and take up positions on the door.
Look, sure, I'm gonna just fly a few circles around, laying fire down. But you guys are paying my medical bills.
Who were you saying that to? Sorry.
Just everybody. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll set up a flame wall for protection, but you guys paying my medical bills.
We'll have somebody take a look at it for you. And then, it's like, a young guy with like a little, of course he has a red cross on his shoulder because no one's creative ever. And he runs over and starts taking a look at your shoulder. Like, oh yeah, that here, let me, like moves it a little bit more, and the pain, the surging pain stops, but it's still sore, and like you can move it properly, but it's rough.
Yep. And I'll make a roll for medical later. So
yeah.
Yep. Very fun.
And yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was good to see the conflict rules a little bit more and hash it out a bit.
Yeah, that went pretty well. I'm curious if you had, real quick before we leave, as I want to see you have to go right away, which is fine. We have any thoughts on stuff that felt like it didn't work, stuff that felt like it worked, or might need to tweak or anything like that?
No, it was good. Good.
No.
Yeah. No.
How was
now I'm getting you.
Sorry.
Good. Yeah, it wasn't too hard.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure my instructions and stuff are clear. I've almost never had anybody just sit down and read the book because I always feel bad about that. And so I just explain it, and I usually just trip over myself and make it more confusing. And so I was curious how just reading the rules work. I mean, you got it all, so it seemed like it worked fine.
Yeah, the only thing that was slightly confusing was the assets, but I think I got that down pat now. So.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm hoping that once I get it all written out and have like stuff for you to look at, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, assets are by far the bulk of the effort in making a character. You picked it up pretty fast, and I appreciate that. I
would have been surprised if Josh hadn't picked it up very fast.
Yeah. That helps. But yeah, everything is so scattered, and like all the descriptions for things are in different places. I don't have really much in the way of like examples for tags, that kind of thing. So it's it's already a demanding process creatively, but now you're basically making it up without much to go off of. So, yeah.
My goals were extremely short term, so I probably actually have completed them in one session accidentally.
I guess we could do that. Yeah, that's all right. I tried to design them in a way where like it's not really a big deal if you do it or not right away. Like the only thing that changes whether or not you do it right away is whether or not you get the XP right away. But you're not going to miss out on stuff if it takes you too long. Well, as long as it doesn't take you like I think 4 sessions is when you start to like miss out.
Yep.
But yeah, if you can get it done within 3 sessions, it's fine. Like you don't miss out on any XP. It's the same as if you've done 3 objectives in 1 session. Just so people don't feel like pressured by that. But yeah, I guess we should do that. So let's look at your drives and goals. I guess technically it is more effective to do them quickly because then you fill up these other ones faster. So I guess technically there is a little bit of a deal there. But so yes, you sought out the Malavine. You found him. You tested. I assume your new invention was the rapid reaction matrix.
Yeah.
Okay, you did that. It worked very well. I will find a way to prevent the spore spread in someone. You did kinda. I don't know if he counts as someone. He's dead.
Well, I think we've at least I think that one's one that I think I have made one step on.
Yeah, I think that's probably a progress one.
Yeah, because I've essentially acquired a thing to study to find out how to prevent it, rather than actually worked it out.
Right. Perfect. All right. Oops, there's that. Well, I meant to do. Where's the? There it is. Yeah, and then sorry, I'm just gonna fill in this thing around here quick here.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think I got a step on all of mine.
Let's look at yours. Tell us more than just how to kill spores. Can teach me its secrets. Yep. Find a way to get vulnerability. Yeah, I think in this case you were like, maybe that was part of why you left, right? You're like, I'm not going to put my, I don't have to put my people at risk. I can just do it now, right?
Yep.
And find the defiled malum and burn its weaknesses. Yeah. Yep. Sounds like it's all progress there. Good stuff.
How do I mark that?
Oh, you didn't do these?
No.
Did Josh do it?
That was what they were already from last time.
Oh, from last time. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I got all these little clocks down here. The very bottom is goals, although this is not. They don't line up anymore.
Oh, you just copy paste. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, it won't let me drag these.
There you go. I got it.
Yeah. I just the like descriptors don't line up with the clocks, and it won't let me. There we go. Cool. Perfect.
Very fun.
Right. Yeah. So then, as far as like the conflicts goes, I'm curious how things felt. Obviously, you only failed 2 rolls getting attacked wise. He progressed, or it wasn't even a fail. He defended really well, got a free progress on the chase, although he's not good at chasing. So, and you got hit once. So I'm curious how that felt, because this game is very much like a heavy swings kind of thing. Like I know it takes a long time to roll. And so I want the rolls to be impactful when they hit, so that we're not wasting a long time. We basically did 2 combats in what was like 2 hours, which isn't bad. I mean, that's no slower than D&D. And we're I'm sort of getting accustomed to the system still. So, and the changes.
Yeah, it felt fun to me.
So, all right, cool. I was just curious if you felt differently about that. Right. Cool. I'm wondering if with like 4 players, if things would go too slowly and it would be too long before in between turns. But I guess we'll find out when you get into some bigger fights. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
When
David's having to play Arlo and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm happy to do off screen, but I will ask you to explain how XP works, because it'll be.
Yeah. I can do it now. I'm not in a huge hurry. I don't think Ruth hasn't said anything yet. Caleb, what were we saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, when you're playing like Arlo and Kai and whoever else, and we might be able to.
True. Yeah, we'll have
when you're fighting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good deal. All right. XP. The way XP works is it's a little like Burning Wheel. So you have your sort of your statement of opinion or fact and then what you're going to do about it, kind of like Burning Wheel does. They just lump it into the same thing. I just split it. So you have your drive and your goal. Obviously, you know that you wrote those. So the idea is when you complete your goal, every session that you work towards your goal, you fill up a piece of the pie, right? Mm-hmm. And when you complete the goal, you get all that XP. So I gave you 2 XP at the top because you completed those 2 goals. And you can delete these if you want and write out new ones about these drives. So then every time you complete an objective or a goal, it fills up one of the marks on these little clocks for your drive, right? The thing, like the overarching thing you're trying to achieve. And eventually when you complete the drive, you'll get XP for all these little clocks. Each clock, there's a little note on it. Each clock gives you a different amount of XP per segment. So like basically the reason that that happens is the longer you work on something, the more XP you get out of it because you're filling up more segments that are worth more XP. But you don't get any XP from your drive until you complete it. So the goal there is like, if you have a shorter term one, it'll pay out earlier. But if you have like a long-term arc, you're encouraged to invest a lot of time in it because you'll make a lot more XP at the end. So basically, as you complete goals, you fill those up. And then as you complete drives, you get all that payout at the end. That's the intention. I don't know anything about the math yet. There is no cost for improvements yet because I don't know what people are going to get, how fast they're going to get it. Well, I'll jury rig something for this game, but I have no idea what XP gain is going to look like. I don't know how fast the power growth is going to be because things like a dice in this game is a pretty big deal. Compared to some other stuff. So it's like, how quickly do I want people to improve? When is buying assets going to get out of hand? You have too many, right? So I've got a lot of balancing with that's probably the biggest thing I have to figure out balance wise is the advancement stuff. But that's how gaining XP works. Did that answer all my questions?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I know it's a little more involved than you need this much XP, you have this much XP, but I wanted to encourage people to have arcs and reward them if they invested a lot of time into it. And the only way I could think to do that was to have it basically like this.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Good. Very fun.
Thanks. Any last thoughts, anything like that? Notes?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
The time to test it. I really just need to do stuff as much as possible until it works. Yep. I already had a couple of things today. I was like, I didn't really think about that, or that stuff. No matter how much I think about it, I don't get there until we try it.
Actually test it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it helps a lot. I appreciate it.
Cool. All right. This has been Tears of Skovrane.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with Cronquisitors.
Yeah.